countdown timer is somewhat accurate. Frickin' PogChamp, man. Welcome back, guys, to GESC. Not Indonesia, it's Thailand. That's the only overlay they gave me, okay? I don't have anything else. I can't do anything else. I'll go into my my really shitty free overlay picture editor or whatever it's called and fix that. It'll look shitty, but I'll fix it so you guys can stop complaining. We got compLexity, we got VGJ.Storm, and it looks like we have, well, I guess everyone's full roster. compLexity, we're playing with KitTrack yesterday. Looks like they'll continue to do so today. Seemed like he was a pretty good fit for the team as a whole. And for VGJ.Storm, I believe they just beat EG yesterday in a best of 3. I have no idea what happened there. I was busy casting something else at the time. But still, I mean, I gotta assume that VGJ.Storm are feeling themselves right now. So we'll see what's going to happen. Of course, this is going to be a double elimination format. Winner faces up against the winner of the previous match, who, spoiler alert, turned out to be Optic, and loser will face up against Digital Chaos in the lower bracket. I believe both of those games are happening tomorrow. So, yeah, should be a pretty good one. Here's hoping for some good Dota that doesn't stretch on for like 5 hours like the last series. Quick look at the bans. Beastmaster Bounty being banned out. Definitely a huge change of pace after the previous match's early ban phase. Dark Willow, though, was banned out in our previous set. Every single game will be insta-snap picked here for VGJ.Storm. We did see compLexity play a lot of Beastmaster yesterday. That was for a different tournament. So that was kind of been just Moo's bread and butter. You know, with the name like Moo, would not be surprised at all to see him playing heroes that just make a zoo and just attack things. It just kind of makes sense. But the Dark Willow pickup for VGJ.Storm, and now we'll see if they want to partner the Dark Willow up with the Puck. Magic damage-wise, they do a shit ton of it, especially if anyone on the team gets a Veil. But of course, the big reward is that coil into Terror. And then they all snap, and then you just kill them afterwards.
I speak for the trees.
compLexity, though. First pick looks like, well, that's not necessarily going to be Moo's hero. He certainly can play it. We saw yesterday compLexity also playing a support Nature's Prophet, played by Z-Freak, and it was in a Drow Ranger capacity. So there's a non-zero chance that we see that coming out from them. Keep in mind, Moo is going to be doing the drafting of compLexity. Not really sure how comfortable he is in that role. But you know what? I'm down with this opening. Lots of kind of movement manipulation options coming out from the Tuscan Nature's Prophet. A little bit of anti-Dark Willow tech right there. Being able to roll in towards the Dark Willow, certainly going to be quite nice. But you know, for right now, it seems like compLexity just looking to set things up for potential early game aggression. And you know, against Dark Willow, a great way to just deal with her is just go kill her, man. She's so soft. As long as you can get on top of her, and with Tusk, with Nature's Prophet, that is extremely feasible, she will typically just tend to fold. Of course, you will have to also battle through a Gyrocopter. It's pick that compLexity I think otherwise would have been okay, at least considering. But again, it's really weird to see this second match where you have two heroes, Gyrocopter, Dark Willow, picked up, who were just every single time in the last match first banned out. Underlord gonna be taken down here. compLexity were also working a lot with that hero yesterday. I haven't seen VGJ.Storm play in a long time, actually. Like, I've always been casting when they're playing and not casting their games, so it feels pretty bad, man. I don't really know what they like, at least nowadays. But, you know what? I love me some MSS. I'm not, like, a huge fan of everyone else. I'm definitely more of a fan of MSS than the other people, but that doesn't make me biased. That means I'm perfectly reasonable in how biased I am. I'm sorry, guys, okay? Maybe that's a bad thing for me to say. That probably is, but, you know, short stint on Immortals, and, man, it'll make a fan out of anyone. Like, if anyone plays on Immortals, I'm down with that. But the DK will be banned out, along with that Underlord. Pretty classic, just, like, anti-Nature's Prophet stuff. Although VGJ.Storm, they don't really have the best means of handling a Nature's Prophet right now. Doesn't seem like they really need a lot. Puck still in the pool is a perfectly reasonable hero at handling Nature's Prophet split push. Make sure you catch him around the map. And of course, you get that combo with the Dark Willow and to some extent the Gyrocopter as well. Looking at capitalizing off of Snap's coils, they will not do it, actually, as they will ban out the Puck. Interesting. I feel like that would have been really, really good for VGJ.Storm, just an anti-Tusk hero as well, or at least a hero that Tusk really can't touch in lane. I guess it would have been okay for compLexity to play like this hyper-mobile style. And being able to get those silences in the Dark Willow, everything that the puck has will just cut right through that that shadow form. Shadow realm form? Shadow form. Shadow form makes sense. We'll call it shadow form.
Dire team pick.
But instead, be the AA. Another hero that's just not being banned out. Phantom Lancer being banned out rather early is going to set this up for compLexity. And keep in mind, Drow Ranger always on the table here for call, and actually not looking too bad. The way you deal with Drow Ranger is typically a very similar method of how you deal with the Nature's Prophet. You just got to get these really hyper-initiation heroes and make sure you don't give the Drow Ranger a lot of space. Dark Willow, Gyrocopter, these aren't really those type of heroes. They don't really find themselves in the face of a Drow Ranger all that often. And if they are, they just get gusted back, and then it's just going to be them torn apart. So VGJ.Storm, got to keep their eyes open for that one. For them, though, just probably looking for their second support. Sand King taken out along with that bounty. Still have potential for stuff like Earth Spirit. Got a Rubik in play as that secondary support hero that can do quite a bit as well. Really, Dark Willow combos well with anything. Clockwork is fine, whatever. Get that hook shot into Nature's Prophet, that could be quite good. Works really well with the Gyrocopter as well. Yeah, I mean, they've got options for that hero. I don't see them picking up a secondary core here. I mean, I guess it could be something like an off lane, but I mean, the Omni Knight, though, is already going up against a pretty tough crowd of heroes. Ancient Apparition Ultimate is usually pretty decent at handling Omni Knights. And of course, you have like all this movement manipulation blocking. Like, you may be able to repel and run, but you can't quite run around all the treants and all the shards and stuff like that. I'll just go for the Witch Doctor instead. That's a reasonable pick for VGJ.Storm. And you're not going to pick up a Witch Doctor and feel really bad about it. It's like Dark Willow is going to be playing that secondary support role to the Witch Doctor, it seems. You're not really showing much of anything here for VGJ.Storm, whereas compLexity are showing a little bit more. Nature's Prophet does give you quite a few options aggressively early on, being able to teleport in and get those chilling touch hits on a hero that is quite fast in attacking and does quite a bit of damage already with really nice range. It's always a persistent threat that VGJ.Storm have to worry about, so they got to make sure that they have their own TPs. Make sure to counter the TPs of the Nature's Prophet. Outside of that, you get into the mid-late game stages where the Nature's Prophet is going to be split pushing and even to some extent looking for these assassination plays. On heroes like Gyrocopter, you usually won't be able to do all that much if you do get jumped by a Nature's Prophet, assuming compLexity have a couple more heroes there as well. Like, you just can't really attack the Nature's Prophet if you're sprouted. Your attack range just simply is not high enough. And having the Nature's Prophet AA as a combo certainly is going to set things up for a little more of a global scale here for compLexity, if they decide to take that route. I don't really know if that's something that you can do, and it's not going to be something that's done. So they're just going to go for the SF instead. This is 4 range heroes, or 3 range heroes so far with potential for 4th. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I wasn't just BSing you guys about that drought. The Shadow Fiend pick, something that VGJ.Storm can definitely deal with. Obviously, they don't have their matchup set up just yet. But you're working with the Witch Doctor, you're working with the Dark Willow. Cask in to get that big blast of damage in from that Shadow form, and man, you got yourself certainly a good start as far as killing off that Shadow Fiend is concerned. They just need a decent matchup. Really, any mid hero that can offer really anything, any nuke at range. Like, DK's banned out, but like even just a simple Breathe Fire would have been enough to actually just straight kill off that SF. For right now, though, compLexity, they have probably one of the strongest mid lane setups in the form of Shadow Fiend Tusk. You get those shards to land, and you're pretty much guaranteed 2 raises. Like, that's going to happen most of the time. And for VGJ.Storm, the puck not an option. They could go for a Queen of Pain, and I could see that doing pretty well. A hero that will just say, screw you to the Tusk, I'm just going to jump over these shards. Wouldn't mind seeing that for them. compLexity don't really have that much lockdown either. In fact, they don't really have any stuns. They have a Tusk, and that's it. So it will be in fact the Quap. Yeah, compLexity need I don't know, like there aren't really many core one role heroes, chessy heroes that you can pick up, and you can say, okay, we have a Queen of Pain answer now. Like, what kind of heroes are those? There really aren't that many. Like, Sven, CK isn't bad here. Although up against Dark Willow, I don't know. It's really difficult to play, for sure. I don't know. It seems like they may just be kind of ill-equipped to deal with this Quap. Just this massive lack of stuns on the complexity side is maybe going to turn out to bite them. VGJ.Storm don't have an abundance of stuns either, but they don't really need an abundance of stuns. It will be like sometimes complexity just teleporting out, but you know, they have Curse Crown, they have the Cask. It's not ideal, but it's something. The Faceless Void, Chessie will not get his hands on that one, as VGJ.Storm still looking for that off lane. What's it gonna be? Legion Commander, nah, it's up against a Tusk. It's good up against Nature's Prophet, but that's about it. What if they get Tidehunter? Tidehunter will give them a absolute crap ton of team fight. That actually doesn't seem too unreasonable. I also don't mind Nyx Assassin here. I'm not huge on that hero, but being able to initiate like this against Complexity's draft is so useful. They'll go for a Night Stalker, and now we have a little bit of a guessing game. Is Dark Willow going to be played as a core in any capacity, or is it just going to be that off-lane Night Stalker? Regardless of what it actually is for VGJ.Storm, this is still going to be yet another form of, granted, soft lockdown. But a point-click silence onto someone like a Shadow Fiend, onto a Nature's Prophet, and keep in mind you do get that missed chance as well. Just to hear that you can use to charge the front lines. The VGJ.Storm don't really have all of that, but all that much to charge in and kind of go with them, as everyone else is ranged. And we'll definitely play the positioning game a lot more than the Night Stalker, who's a little bit more brute force. But the mess with the Shadow Fiend and Nature's Prophet's positioning in the fight is certainly very valuable. Not to mention the fact that if you do get hit with the shards or sprouted, you just fly right over, man. Sometimes. So Complexity now need an answer to this Queen of Pain stun-wise. Scaling, they will have quite a bit of split push as an option moving into the late game, so, you know, they will be able to scale pretty decently. And I don't know, is there a hero that can actually get them out of this? I don't see a hero from that core 1 role that can give them enough lockdown onto the Quap and still give them... That's not bad, and that is... What is happening right now? What is going on? That's got to be a Mu Abaddon, and then we have a Chessie Nature's Prophet? Exactly that. This is all in. This is Complexity going all in onto this early mid-game push style. This is a little bit troubling, I would say. Because, I mean, their push isn't bad early on. Their early game is certainly very powerful. With the Tusk and an Ancient Apparition, you guys know how that combo works. Shadow Fiend piling damage on top of that is absolutely incredible. But a core Nature's Prophet with a core Shadow Fiend, again, the split pushing isn't really going to be irrelevant in the late game. But it is going to be Complexity really trying to go ham in the early stages, trying to take down those towers, use the early game rotational power of a Nature's Prophet out of a farming role in order to get that early game lead. It's not a bad idea, like in theory, but it is one that is kind of risky in that if you fail any of those rotations, like if you teleport in and don't get the kill or end up dying, in fact, for it, then you're in a really, really awkward spot moving forward. So VGJ.Storm's draft is, I would say, a little bit more vanilla, is a little bit more quote-unquote normal. I don't know. I do like to see teams go with these type of weird strats. And I especially like it when these weird strats win, because that means we get to see more weird strats like this in the future. It suddenly becomes more and more mainstream, but not really sure if that's in the cards. I'm favoring VGJ.Storm's draft quite a bit here. I feel like Complexity, their lack of control is really, really going to kill them, especially versus this Queen of Pain. We'll see what Kitrak and Z-Free can do. And these guys have been doing quite a good job so far as a partnership for Complexity. And Tusk and Ancient Apparition with the Chilling Touch, especially once they both get to level 2, you have the Snowball to get in with the Ice Shards. Get that Cold Feet proc with the Chilling Touch. You can do a lot of damage to a lot of heroes. Maybe not Queen of Pain, but everyone else for sure is in a lot of trouble. On the other end, it looks like for VGJ.Storm, things are going to be about as you would expect. Well, I mean, you know, Night Stalker's, he's prepped up for the lane. I guess, you know, that was a little bit too hopeful coming out from my end.
The battle begins.
MSS is he also, like, I mentioned AUI earlier as like a player that's played actually every role. I feel like MSS has also played every single role for like so many teams. Dude is definitely a quality player in that. Sometimes versatility, flexibility, that's all you need, man. That is all you need. This block over in this mid lane, though. Tomato is on the low ground, though. Tower's getting quite a few shots here. Wave will be pushing back towards Tomato's side of things. They're kind of baiting this Queen of Pain really, really far in. Limp, unfortunately, actually picked up Ray's level 1. So he's getting no souls, and I think Tomato at this point should realize that. You're not going to get level 2 super slowly or anything like that, but still, this is a little bit of an aggressive kill attempt. Or a potential move to get kills over in that mid. Shadow Rays for sure is a lot more useful than Necromastery at getting kills, because Necromastery doesn't do anything. Like, actually nothing. Right now, though, this Nature's Prophet is CSing pretty decently. This lane setup of Dark Willow and the Night Stalker is going to be dangerous once they pick up a couple levels, but right now, Nature's Prophet with the Treants just reigns supreme. Way too many bodies in the way to actually get in there and do any damage to Nature's Prophet, or even go in for creeps. Like, there's a lot of regen on this Night Stalker. He is incredibly bulky, but you don't want to underestimate the power of Treants attacking you with Blightstone on you as well. That is a lot of shit to go through, and speaking of shit to go through, Moo is going to take a pretty big hit from Maledict. Teleports out. How much damage is going to do? Not quite enough. Yeah, it's not really a fun lane to be in Abaddon. The Maledict is something that the Abaddon can somewhat mitigate by having the Aphotic Shield just as an additional chunk of health, but that's about it. Over in the bottom lane, though, Z-Freak and Kittrack just camping out here. Problem being, you're trying to go and camp out a Night Stalker's lane. Dude is tanky as hell. You might be able to get on top of MSS, and if you are able to, then Dark Willow will once again just fold. But they're just making sure that this early game start of Chessie is as clean as can be, and we'll teleport back, get a little bit of extra mana, but be able to jump right back to the lane afterwards. Nature's Prophet getting a good start is absolutely imperative for compLexity. You can kind of have Moo fall behind. That is acceptable for this type of draft, but Limp needs to be getting CS, Chessie needs to be getting CS, and currently they're doing a pretty darn good job at that. Tomato now has to deal with Z-Freak, a whole bunch of Tusks in the area. Moo's gonna get hit with the missile. There is enough mana for a Rocket Barrage, and no Aphotic Shield. This is a kill. This is the first kill, in fact. I believe YS is you are. I'm like 90% sure. I'm like 95% sure. Just need a confirmation there, because it might be someone else. And that's the worst thing. Like it might just be. Oh, they also just straight killed SPG. My bad, guys. It might be him, but if it's not him, I don't want to give credit to some other guy to someone else. Like that's the worst thing that could happen. Yeah, but he's happy up here. 2 points on the missile. Hits Moo pretty darn hard. The rotation for compLexity all the way up to the top lane. These two in the Tuscan AA now at level 2. Easily beat the brakes off of this Witch Doctor. Everyone else, though, is a little more challenging. Man, look at Chessie just dominate this lane. 1v2, no big deal. He's level 4 with a little bit of help from his allies, granted, but he's working with 20 CS, 10 denies. A lot more than anyone else can say. And now we have a little bit of an opening here as the Gyrocopter shards. I think he's going to get out of the cold feet. Cast will bounce through, back up to Z-Freak. Moo can't even land a single shot there, so an awkward spot for a Gyrocopter to be in, but he just walks right out of there. And this current dual lane setup of VGJ.Storm on this bottom lane. And the Night Stalker is splitting experience. It is going to be nighttime soon, but they are going to try to make this timing happen. Curse Crown on Chessie. Void is there as well as the Bramble Maze. Gotta do it with right clicks. They have no more stuns. Shadow Realm! Oh, banish his ass.
I'm not afraid of the forest.
Yugi! No, MSS is, what's his face? Pegasus? Is he the guy who, Pegasus is the guy with the eye, right? Who, like, banishes the grandpa to the Shadow Realm? Yeah, got him. There's a lot of control there once you do hit that level, that minute 4 mark. I guess Chessie kind of figured he would be tanky enough to escape that, and he definitely was close, but using your Void into the Cursed Crown, knowing that the Nature's Prophet has 2 methods of TPing out, that's a little bit of an aggressive move there from VGJ.Storm, but still goes well for them. I guess that's just the timing they're looking for. Night Stalker most likely just going to keep chilling in this bottom lane. A level 4 Night Stalker on the roam for sure is a deadly hero. Not really sure if they're ready to rotate that hero out yet. Level 5, if he was level 5, he'd probably be on the roam right now. Give the lane to Dark Willow, that could work out pretty well. Z-Freak. They're still playing this top lane really aggressively. Just having a couple heroes here camped out gives Moo a little bit of time to get a handful of CS here or there. GESC, once again, Curse Crown on him, but the Sprout. Gonna separate him from sneaking. They're gonna snowball back in. Not really sure about that move. They did have a shield on Z-Freak, I think. Now Shadow Realm TP out. Dark Willow's gonna piece on out of there. And Moo, top lane. And this Maledict and the missile, it's gonna do quite a bit of damage. Timing-wise, it's just enough. You don't even need timing. Missile's level 3? That's still a level 2 missile. That did a lot of damage. Thought the missile was gonna land right before the final tick of the Maledict. But, hey, you get the kill. Doesn't matter how you do it. Another kill onto this top lane, Abaddon. And Gyro is just rocking this lane. He'll go for the phase boots as his next item. Having that mobility to kind of skirt the Tusk and the Nature's Prophet, I don't mind that. Although I do like Power Treads as an option as well. Just that extra stat boost is really, really nice for a Gyrocopter, especially in this scenario where there's a chance that he just gets insta-give thanks to the Tusk and Shadow Fiend combo. If he ever is put in that position, of course. Looks like they are going to leave the bottom lane to the Dark Willow. Have Sneaking go on the roam. He will find Limp, but really, really far behind enemy lines. He's going to take a pretty big hit from the Raise and the Wrath of Nature, and well, now he's awkwardly like low on health and mana. Speaking of low on health and mana, out towards top lane, Z-Freak puts up the shards, but he is already dead thanks to the Maledict. The guns on the Gyrocopter, man, they are just buzzing down everyone in this top lane. Even Tomato rotating in here. Has a Sonic Wave and is itching to use it, but you're too slow, man. Everyone's already dead. You should have come a little bit quicker. They will just group up around the shrine, get themselves back, and ooh, this is not quite a value shrine. Dude, you couldn't wait for like 5 seconds to give this Gyrocopter some love? God, that feels bad, man. It's like Tomato and Sneaking are off having their own little fan club meeting and you're not invited. No Gyrocopters allowed. Sneaking's right back on the field though. Limp does have well, 2 range drop charges that probably will keep him safe here. Up towards top lane though, they get the Sprout onto the Gyrocopter, phase boots, he's gonna book it, not frozen in place, and will survive. Bramble Maze now goes down. Moo, Curse Crown on him is gonna keep him in place. Not much damage to follow up here. They will drop the Shadow Realm on him and they will kill him off. And GESC actually does end up killing the Gyrocopter elsewhere, but here comes Sneaking. The big bad Night Stalker. Kitrax in a straight TP out of here as a snowball will flatten SVG. Now onto GESC. Once again, the Curse Crown is there. Sneaking, even though through shards, he can still attack them. Gonna fly right overhead. GESC is now gonna try to make a break for it. Limp is here. One raise. Oh, Sneaking completely trapped, but here comes the Sonic Wave from behind. And even 1-for-1 Z-Freak now, the one in trouble as he's kind of surrounded here. And he's hit with another Cursed Crown. Dude, everyone gets some of these crowns. He will be able to snowball towards the creep wave, it looks like, but that's not really an escape route for him. He's still going to be picked off. This is like, did everyone show up here? I think like everyone actually came up to this top lane. It's an absolute party on this top lane. And ultimately, it's a 3-for-3. Rita Payne gets her dues. MSS gets paid off in a huge way. Like, he was able to drop 3 Curse Crowns. At least 3 Curse Crowns. Like, that was an absolutely insane amount of Dark Willow value. And at this point, now sitting at level 6, he's working with a lot of assassination power himself. Like, he could actually just dumpster a ton of heroes. Kitrax being picked off by SVGs. They try to roll in for this Witch Doctor. Tries to aggro Roche, but the shards cut right through him. And it looks like Tomato a little bit low on that mana. Can't really go for more. It is daylight for right now, but the Night Stalker is currently level 5 with phase boots and the urn on the way. Sneaking is having a decent Night Stalker game. Seen for sure better Night Stalker games, but considering how that top engagement went, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all you could expect. Once Tomato gets a little bit of extra mana, you could bet that VGJ.Storm will get right back on the warpath. As long as they're trading evenly, they're going to be okay with this. Because over in the mid lane, this is what compLexity are kind of have built their draft to do. Get a whole bunch of units. Moo only has 1 point in the Curse of Avernus, but it's still more than enough to take down his tower. Terrorize in the back. Looks like it's actually held. They just use the Bramble Mace instead, hold Moo in. The tower will be picked off. Shadow Realm with the missile. Dude, that's a lot of damage from a very long range. They do take down the tower, though, and again, that's what compLexity are really, really good at doing. Just kind of grouping up and then doom pushing a tower. And that timing works out in such a way where there is no Sonic Wave. They will find Mu, though, who just uses his Aphotic Shield. Scream misses, however. They will have the Sonic Wave, but he picks up borrowed time after Creep dies. One more hit will pop the ultimate. Now they just don't hit him. He does have a shield up, but there's a Sonic Wave with his name on it. And in the meantime, MSS also gets picked off. Gets jacked up by the Shadow Fiend and that AA.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Still a
under
favorable
attack.
trade here for VGJ.Storm. Sonic Wave is quite a long cooldown. The Gyrocopter cutting through that Sprout. Can't cut through the shards. He will still return fire to a decent degree. Snowball is going to be dodging the cask. But Sneaking is going to arrive. Has Void, level 3, catches Z-Freak with the Death Ward. Look at it go onto Z-Freak. He's going to get saved by the shield, though. Mu arrives like a freaking superhero. And now the call down. He's going to try to disengage them away from that Stalker. In the meantime, Kittrack dies elsewhere. Man, I chose the wrong fight to watch. SVG going to be chased down by Chessie, but the cast is still bouncing. They still have the vision from the Frozen Sigil. The snipe. Oh, got him! From downtown, it's Z-Freak with the shards. It's only a Witch Doctor kill, but still, it's a stylish kill. That'll work. Looks like Tomato was able to solo Kittrack. Just Queen of Pain things. AA really doesn't have any way of defending himself, nor does he have the durability to tank through it, so pretty easy kills there. But ultimately, compLexity, they do get a half-decent engagement up towards top. And again, just being able to push out of nowhere thanks to Nature's Prophet. Even with the Batten having still only 1 point in that curse, it's still just going to be good enough. They're working with a slight gold lead for right now thanks to these towers. I'm not sure if compLexity are going to be feeling good enough about this early game start, though. Man, they still have a long ways to go in this game. But this is perhaps a start where they would, kind of would like to have a little bit more, specifically on this Abaddon. If he was able to pick up any given item by this stage outside of what he has right now, it could give him so much more momentum. If he was level 8 instead of level 6, then they could just do so many more kind of abusive things just by straight pushing into these tier 2 towers. Seeing as though he's not at that stage yet, seeing as though he doesn't really have any useful items, this Abaddon's kind of going to have to take a back seat and recover a little bit. It's a lot of recovery time where everyone on VGJ.Storm are going to be picking up quite a bit, including maybe this tier 1 tower. Oh, there's a pretty big movement. Smokes on smokes. SVG v Z-Freak will run into each other. Terrorize coming right on in. Gives SVG a little bit of cover, but this Tusk is going to get this kill. He's got it locked up, but the Bedlam puts the Tusk in a trash can. Now Sneaking going to come in along with Chessie. Oh, this Nature's Prophet is kind of isolated because with the Curse Crown, MSS completely surrounded. 5 points around. Straight out of Warcraft 3, and now here comes the Gyrocopter with a Black Cannon and a Sonic Wave. They'll take down Limp. Chessie gets hit with the shield as the Gyrocopter's taking quite a bit of damage here, disengaging away, still getting right-clicked by Kittrack, but it's Tomato who's doing all the damage, along with Sneaking, just crushed through that Nature's Prophet. They will snipe once again that Gyrocopter with the shards, but everyone else will bail out of here. As the Tusk is going to return, that looks like a 4-for-3 exchange in favor of VGJ.Storm. Sneaking, just bullying his way in. That's just a Night Stalker through and through. And of course, a Queen of Pain under no focus because there are no stuns. You literally cannot focus her. Some big problems for compLexity. They just have to ignore her and do the best they can to kill off her allies. And to be fair, they did a reasonable job at that. The Gyrocopter was picked off. But this Night Stalker, man, he's starting to get some serious momentum here. It is going to be 2 minutes till day. We'll run into Mu, battling for the bounty rune. Oh, he gets it. And now here comes some Shadow Realm, although that hit missed at the high ground. Still, Curse Crown is there with the Silence Mu. Use that borrowed time to get rid of all of that. Looks like they will just disengage everyone else out of here. Not the missile. It's fine. So yeah, once you get this vessel, you do a lot more broken things, especially versus that Abaddon. You can just keep the aggression up as well. Like, there's been a lot of battling in this game. Speaking of SVG, Ice Blast coming in hot. Actually coming in cold. Sprout misses, though, and so does the Ice Blast. So Witch Doctor makes a huge escape. Wow! He just walked away, dude. He just literally walked away. He's like, you trying to gank me? Nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna leave now. Thanks. If you land the Ice Blast, like, or this Or the Sprout, maybe you can actually chase forward for that. Limb, oh, he's going to be circling around Pombo. Tomato takes 2 raises on the way in. Doesn't have any more nukes. Has to blink down to the south. And will get out. It looks like he's actually going into the back here. Sneaking's going to get caught. And he does take a lot of damage with the full Death Ward channel again from SVG. He's going to chuck out a Maledict onto Chessie. One more shot is all they need into the trees. SVG, can you slip your way out of this? Looks like the answer is yes as Tomato comes back in. Wrath of Nature fails to kill off that Quap, and actually, yes, SVG survives. And now oh, Sonic Wave. I don't know if that would have been enough. It missed anyway. But on bottom, they also were able to get on top of Moo, VGJ.Storm all across the map. Playing games with complexity. These are not the type of games that complexity want to be playing. They don't want to be fighting like over here or back here. They want to be fighting over here under these dire tier 2 towers. That's when they're at their strongest. Looks like just Terrorize and Missile and just standard Gyrocopter Dark Willow things took out Moo. But Tomato's able to escape that situation, even though they landed like the biggest combo they could possibly land on the Quap. Wrath of Nature, double raise, just try to burst her down, just use all the brute force magic you got. Still not enough, man. Still not enough. And with this stats, a little bit extra strength here, a little bit extra strength here. Definitely goes a long way to surviving as that Queen of Pain. All of a sudden, it's VGJ.Storm. With a 7-kill lead, though, the net worth lead is not quite looking the same. They're still working with a really, really dangerous Gyrocopter, and this Nature's Prophet, even though he has all this offensive power, if he gets caught by really anything, like a Night Stalker running at him, or he's caught with a Crown, or hit in the Bramble Maze, or Terrorized, then Chessie will just fold. So easy to kill off this Nature's Prophet. We're going to go straight into the Roach Pit, though. Treant's making this pretty safe, along with that Sigil decreasing that attack speed. Terrorize, it's up, but everyone else from VGJ.Storm, they don't see this coming. They have no idea at all, in fact. Roshan will, in fact, be claimed. Limp's got the double life, has the Yule Scepter. Ready to maybe start comboing in some Queen of Pains. Queens of Pain? I don't know. Moo, either way, is going to get hit with that Maledict. That's really bad. Terrorize is going to be canceled as the Ice Blast does come in. SVG channels up that Death Ward, but will get Walrus Punch to Oblivion. The Sea Freaks can get shielded. Will be just fine. MSS in the meantime running out. Should be okay, although Limp is really quick. With the Yule Scepter in the shards, MSS is caught. He will throw the Terrorize, and he will get a little bit of space from it. Shadow Realm out as well. Sneaky's going to come in for the back. Moo's going to go down as Limp is very, very low. He's going to drop into a Gyrocopter and immediately get picked off, and Sneaking's going for a little bit more. Snowball? Oh, man, you don't want to go into that Snowball. Sonic Wave's going to land onto 3 on the Gyrocopter, just buzzing everyone down. Tomato as well, running circles around complexity. They'll take down Limp and make it a full wipe. A wipe and then some. They took down the Aegis on top of that, losing only the singular hero in the Dark Willow. Actually, no, they also lost SVG there. But it's a Witch Doctor. Who cares, man? It's fine. Fact of the matter is, this Gyrocopter is fighting very, very actively and still getting a lot of CS. Tomato doesn't even have an item up yet. He will have now, that Orchid. But just because this Queen of Pain is running around without answers, she can get away with really anything she wants. And this Orchid, man, just a little bit of extra mana regeneration, a little bit of extra intelligence. And of course, that big ol' silence. It is not something that's guaranteed to stick and be super useful. You just Aphotic Shield it away. But you could also just slap it on the Abaddon and then just call it a day. Or kill off Ancient Apparitions with it. Dead to poison, dude. Oh, maybe not. The Raindrop? Not dead to poison. Infused Raindrop. What an OP item. Shadow Realm. Oh, looking like they're going to banish the Nature's Prophet to the Shadow Realm. Here's a Death Ward for you, Chessie. How does it feel, #1 net worth of complexity, to be killed off by 2 support heroes?
At least we're not stuck in court.
If I had a microphone that I could give to him, I would not do that, because that's really mean. Why would you ever do that as an interviewer? But that's the thing with Nature's Prophet having a lot of net worth. Like, as an offensive sniper-esque hero, he's absolutely fantastic. In the middle of a fight, he's just such an easy kill. So easy to kill off. I mean, to be fair, Dark Willow and Death Ward, like, these are serious tools also. Like, these aren't just, like, 2 random broke support heroes. Like, Dark Willow does some serious damage. That wasn't even Bedlam, actually. That was just, mostly that Death Ward. 4K lead now for VGJ.Storm, and they've essentially nullified the strongest point of Complexity's draft, and Now we'll start to worry a little bit more about that kind of split push style for complexity. That ability to kind of get random pickoffs off of nowhere, like this. Silence on the Queen of Pain, Dual Scepter there as well. Terrorize coming right on in. And the Queen of Pain, I mean, that's the best setup they could possibly hope for. Drop her down to half HP. Ultimately, though, just short. That Dual Scepter with that Orchid, definitely someone messed up there. Queen of Pain is able to just jump right out. And this is a really narrow timing where they could actually make that happen. Right now, they might be able to kill off a Quap with that. Once you get to BKB, it is not going to happen. It's just simply impossible. Limp. Okay. You can just teleport out of here, or you can just turn around and kill sneaking. No, not if he gets hit with the Crippling Fear. Now here comes the backup. I think if he just... The first thing he did, sees the Night Stalker, if he just immediately leaves... Oh, they've also caught the Tusk! Okay, I gotta assume they saw him, like, in the lane, and then they saw him go up there. But I didn't see that, and they just, like, just crushed the two heroes. My dog agrees. She's definitely rooting for VGJ.Storm here. Bias caster dog, confirmed. But Shadow Fiend is very similar to that Nature's Prophet. Very, very soft heroes, yet very high damage. But if you're hit with that Crippling Fear, man, can't cast the spells, you'll miss all your attacks. Shadow Fiend is, yeah, he's a coward, man, once you hit him with that Crippling Fear. Yeah, honestly, everyone will be. Tower. Oh, man, please tell me complexity can at least... They can't even get the tower killed off. Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, they are, like, almost exclusively now on this kind of split push, get random pick-off plan. I don't really know if that's a plan that they could really bank on right now because this is happening. Limp, he's chilling, just farming. Suddenly, Crippling Feared. Void and Vesseled, and the Night Stalker with Terrorized support coming in will be dodged by the Yule Scepter, but he lands right into the Bramble Maze, into a Maledict, into missiles. Oh my god, that was such a sad death requiem. He has barely any souls. Feels bad, man. Complexity are just getting destroyed right now. Like, the net worth lead isn't really that high, considering, like, it could be worse. But not really by that much. Like, look how aggressively VGJ.Storm moving right now. Like, sneaking doesn't give a damn, man. He's just flying around. He's got a hood. He's just doing Night Stalker things. Everyone else, they're grouped up and just taking towers. They know that there's not really many threats on the complexity side. Like, maybe one of your heroes is going to get insta-gibbed. Maybe that's going to happen. But not, like, 2 or 3 of your heroes. Like, if one hero takes all the focus, that's fine because everyone else can clean up the fight afterwards. Tower's going to be ground down, and now the rotation comes in. Onto Chessie. I've seen this episode before. I think I know how this ends. Oh, no, Chessie actually skirts the Queen of Pain. Hide. There's no TP cancel here for the Quap, and MSS is a little bit slow coming in as well. So I have not seen that episode before. That was a new episode. But definitely one of those rerun episodes where they just show a clip show. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now the push will continue on bottom lane. Something that Complexity really are good at doing is counter pushing, split pushing, ratting this game out, trying to extend it. Again, I'm not really sure to what point and purpose, but they can do it, just cutting the waves, doing Nature's Prophet things. Shadow Fiend can insta-kill a wave. Even the Abaddon has that helm. Pretty much a bread and butter Moo item. Is there ever a game where Moo doesn't get Helm of the Dominator? Probably, but I haven't seen it. Oh no, I've seen this episode before. This is definitely a rerun, dude. He's gonna try to TP out, and it looks like this time he will be able to escape. Okay, that wasn't a rerun. All these episodes starting to blur together, though. I mean, at least Complexity aren't losing heroes. As I say that, they're looking to maybe set up on Moo. Power Treads, Helm of the Dominator. That's not really a scary Abaddon. Here comes Sneaking, Crippling Fear. Right off the bat, he does have some time to borrow. Lift up. That 50 heal from the borrowed time. Incredible value. He's just dead. And now Sneaking is going to push forward, looking for a little bit more. He's found himself a giant walrus, man. He's going to call it quits right now. Still has that one Spirit Vessel charge. Shadow Realm being armed up. Ooh, going to the Courier, who's holding a BKB. Oh, that's probably Chessie's BKB, right? I'm not really sure if, like, BKB is the type of item where Complexity get it and then they're like, okay, we're ready to fight, let's go. It'll certainly be really nice to have in those fights, but I'm not really sure if in this scenario it's as swingy as they really need it to be. Regardless, that is still going to be a lot of time where they don't have Magic Immunity on this NP. Assuming it is his. I guess it wasn't the Shadow Fiends.
Worthy
Probably wasn't.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You can see VGJ.Storm, they're just crawling further and further ahead in this game. Slowly but surely, their lead is continuing to grow. They've gotten, like, no action this entire game. Like, the closest thing to action was Queen of Pain over here, almost dying. By almost dying, I mean dropping to half health. That's not really anything huge. And now at this point, Queen of Pain with that BKB can sit comfortably in the middle of fights, knowing that there's nothing the Shadow Fiend can really do to her. I mean, she has magic immunity, physical resistance. So, yeah, the Shadow Fiend really doesn't have that much. Maybe they could pop a BKB charge using that Orchid on the Nature's Prophet. That's feasible. It's not really a huge gain or anything like that. This is complexity's draft showing its weakness here. They definitely had their point in the game where they were incredibly powerful. That point has passed. Now they're just trying to remain competitive. I mean, if Limp was able to get more farm, then maybe the Shadow Fiend will be able to, you know, take the game by the reins and do some carrying. But he needs a lot more farm than this, man. He's behind the Night Stalker. I mean, it's hard to say, like, Night Stalker has been playing very well or anything like that, because I mean, it's hard to play Night Stalker poorly, but Sneaking has always been in the right place at the right time. Just always pushing the front lines. Been playing Night Stalker as good as anyone can play a Night Stalker. It's that you may not like it, but that's what an ideal Night Stalker looks like. And at this point, with the Vessel and the Hooded Defiance, man, he could continue just running at the opponents, even with the Yule Scepter. So he will have Void to get the slow in for the right clicks, and then he'll have a Yule Scepter to cancel some TPs. I wonder if you could, like, Crippling Fear. That's 8 seconds. It's not quite perfect. You can't keep them permanently Crippling Feared, but it's pretty close. An MSS. Got a Yule. How many Yule Scepters is that? In this game, there are a lot of Yules. Shout out to Yule. Wherever that guy is. Is he working for Volvo right now? I have no idea. Who cares? Who cares? VGJ.Storm are chilling. They do have Roshan as a potential objective they can get. They don't really Rosh all that fast, though. Once the Gyro gets his Butterfly, it'll be a hell of a lot faster, that's for damn sure. Not quite there just yet. Still he's on top of the net worth chart. Yeah, really all the farm on the map, at least for Complexity's map, is going towards Chessie. Shadowblade Orchid still won't be able to kill off Queen of Pain. Unless he, like, also finds a nullifier. It's a lot to ask for, man. That is a lot to ask for. And Limp finally has his own BKB. The BKB should be respawning soon, actually. Yeah, looks like the Courier... Yeah, that was Chessie's BKB, so he'll have that. And just in time for maybe this Roche fight. Moo's got a Hellbear in there, so keeping an eye on it. But VGJ.Storm, they get the Butterfly. They get the level 20 talent on the Queen of Pain. And on the Gyrocopter on top of that, so a hell of a lot of MS for him. What is he? 512 without fluttering. Jeez, he is just zipping along. I mean, he's in a literal biplane, so like you would expect him to be going pretty fast compared to everyone else, but goddamn, that's some movement speed. You cannot catch up to him. You gotta just lock him down in the Sprout or try to catch him in a corner or something like that with shards. Z-Freak's gonna find MSS and we'll jump on him and assassinate that Dark Willow, but it's gonna be the Gyrocopter with the BKB pop, just standing his ground, the Flag Cannon shredding everyone, Sonic Wave as well. Chessie's gonna go Invis, looks like they don't have any True Sight, but they will decide to go instead for this Abaddon. Yule Scepter gonna hold him in place, he borrowed all the time he can afford, and he will be going down. That's gonna be a buyback from MSS actually, looking to defend this bottom lane. But ultimately, BKB charge is used on everyone, and I mean, they annihilated that Dark Willow. She did not stand a snowball's chance, but it just wasn't good enough because you're going after a Dark Willow. It's just, if that was Queen of Pain, I could definitely see that working out well for Complexity, but now Limp, oh no, he has no BKB. He can Yule's this off, but he's going to land into a Cask and a Death Ward. Good freaking luck, dude. Even Chessie going to arrive? Luckily for him, there's no True Sight. Why is there no True Sight? Guys, why is there no True Sight? Can anyone answer? Can anyone answer that? Why is there no True Sight up against this Shadowblade Nature's Prophet? Does anyone want to get some of that? It doesn't matter. They kill off Limp. They already had Roshan pretty much locked up, but they just get an extra kill for the road. And now they'll just put the crown on the Rosh. Bam. Get all the right clicks coming out from this gyrocopter. And make no mistake, this guy is absolutely dishing. Able to get quite a bit of attack speed out as well, so he's hitting really, really hard, and his flat cannon with the extra charges are coming out really, really quickly. So there's not much time for complexity to kind of counterplay this gyrocopter. MSS, GESC is going off on that Z-Freak Tusk. Dude, GESC is a killer, man. GESC, of course, being Dark Willow's little fairy buddy, whatever he is. Maybe he's not a fairy. Maybe he's like a sprite. Although, are fairies and sprites the same thing? I have no idea. Dude, is that racist? It probably is. Freaking Hot Pocket. But GESC, like, he's pissed off, man. He's tiny, but he packs a wallop. Even more so than a walrus. The map is getting smaller and smaller here for complexity. That was the closest thing to a heads-up fight that they've taken. They get the initiation off, technically. Get a kill, and then that's pretty much it. Now with the Aegis, Cheese is on gyro? Yeah, Cheese is on gyro. It's just going to be VGJ.Storm on the hunt. Chessie is going to rat for all he's worth. And he's worth quite a bit in the rat market. Takes down a tower, or at least the catapult does. This is a 2 siege creep wave with a ton of these vine guys. Someone should probably go and deal with that. Quap is blinking her way over as fast as possible.
Dire's top tower is under
How much
attack.
damage this tower takes from 2 siege creeps? This one's not attacking actually, so that's a little bit of a siege creep miss micro. God damn it, Radiant. Who's controlling your dudes? Sneaking. MSS in the meantime, looking to jump on someone in the mid lane. Gem is up on the Night Stalker. Oh, he's found a target. The easiest possible target. Walrus Punch is going to be there. He puts him in a snowball. Moo looks like he's not invited to the snowball. Here comes the Terrorize. Going to drive the Abaddon away. Isolate Kittrack, isolate Z-Freak, and they'll both fall. Even Moo in a kind of dangerous spot. Looks like he'll be fine as sneaking is just going to, unfortunately, not be able to get out of there because Daylight does break, but Chessie is going to be forced to pop that BKB. GESC doing his job once again. Pushing that BKB charge out purely defensively from that NP. Queen of Pain was not involved in that fight. She's still trying to clean up what remains of this top lane. And she'll be able to handle Limp pretty easily. Maybe not kill him off, but as long as she's occupying his time, that's okay for her. Jump in, Shadow Strike, immediately Yule's TP out because he's needed elsewhere. Because Chessie's in a little bit of a bad spot right now. Here comes the big hit from the Shadow Realm along with that Bramble Maze, but the Ice Blast flying overhead. It's going to be the Gyrocopter Cheese to be popped. He's just going to call down right in front of the fountain. Feels bad, man, getting fountain camps with your rack still up. Motto is going to travel back to his allies. He's going to have an opportunity for a full 5-on-5 here, but this is not Complexity's forte. They don't even have... Wow, he's been working on this Radiance forever, Moo. Just can't quite get enough farm. I think VGJ without the BKB on the Gyrocopter will call it quits for right now. Decide to back up. Dude, is he seriously going for a second butterfly? I'm selected on Gyrocopter, right? Like, he already has one. Honestly, just go for it, man. Just freaking go for it. Who cares? He's actually doing it. Quarterstaff, I mean, kind of, maybe one of these. You know, I don't think I've seen this before. I don't think I have. But Butterfly gives you a ton of damage and a lot of attack speed. Shit, man, you can't say no to that. They're looking for the melee range nullifier, but the BKB comes up just in time. And now Z-Freak kind of got baited by his allies. He's going to get GESC to hell. And also caught Chessie. Limp's going to BKB and book it out of there. Chessie going to try to do the same. It looks like there's no BKB piercing disabled here for the VGJ.Storm side. They try to assassinate the Gyrocopter. They pull out another BKB charge. That's 8 seconds. Used super defensively there. That's fine though. Dude, what is this? He bought a quarterstaff, backpacked it, and now he's gonna go for the Eye of Scotty. What kind of broken ass sequencing of items is that? Oh, Kittrack. Shadow Realm awaits you. GESC once again going off with the Bedlam. Now chasing after Moo. They're going to put a crown on him. Yule Scepter. He will buff it all out with the borrowed time. Looks like with no Queen of Pain, no Gyrocopter, they lack the punching power to get the kill on that Abaddon. We can see this split push from compLexity,
Radiant's bottom shrine is under
keeping them in this game. Again, I'm not really sure to what end. But they are extending the game, man. They are extending the game as much as they can. At a certain point, MSS with the level 3 Bedlam, like, he's going to be able to not only clean up these waves, but actually just force BKBs on whoever's going to push. Like, it's going to be Nature's Prophet, it's going to be the Shadow Fiend. Like, those are the heroes they're going to be pushing. And they still don't have a lot of HP to compare with this Dark Willow. And if your support can kind of hold the lanes by himself, that of course frees up everyone else to just be hunting for kills elsewhere. That's just Dark Willow, man. She kind of does it all.
Look at it go.
Sneaking. Still got that gem from a while ago. We go for that Lotus Orb, get that Echo Shell going. If nothing else, just a nice tanky item for the Night Stalker. I do feel like he could, even if he wanted to, go for more of an offensive item. Of which Lotus Orb is not.
Dire's bottom tower is under
But
attack.
regular darkness is now going to fall. He is still incredibly bulky with this pipe. Getting some of those talents, perhaps. Night Stalker's talents are
Dire's
usually not
bottom
going to
tower
change the
has
way he's
fallen.
played or anything like that. Like, it helps. More movement speed, more damage, whatever. It's nice. They are going to look for Chessie, though. BKB TP. How much can it actually do? Here comes the Terrorize. He's scared. He's running, and GESC is following. Oh my god, the Bedlam damage. Quote-unquote support Willow. Yeah, right, man. Look at this. Look at this. That's how you do it, man. Just get him from a distance with the Terrorize. Make him run. Make him scared. Speaking of making people run and scared, it's going to be Moo. Hit with the Crippling Fear. Cask going to set up for the Maledict. Missile's going to be thrown in as well. Kitrak can't really do that much here. Moo is going to be able to get back to safety, though. Shotgun, one raise onto the Gyrocopter. He's going to tank that one like nobody's business. And Tomato's still pushing the top lane. Off to the south side, they found Z-Freak. Kind of in the middle of nowhere there. That's more Vessel charges for the Night Stalker. Spirit Release, I think? Soul Release. What the hell? It's called Spirit Vessel, but it's not called Spirit Release.
Radiant's top shrine
Literally
is under
unplayable
attack.
games. Literally unplayable. It's going to be a tier 2 tower. It's going to be a whole slew of kills. And VGJ.Storm are playing this super patiently. They know that they're just winning this game right now. Like, they are in the process of winning this game. They're in absolutely no rush. So just chill, man. Just chill and wait for these items. Get a 6-slot item on Gyrocopter. Drum? You don't need drums, man. Drums are for 15-minute Gyrocopters, not 40-minute Gyrocopters. Get yourself something nice like a Lincoln Sphere. Upgrade this item. Like, what the hell's Yasha still doing in inventory? Like, Yawar is absolutely a terror right now, and he's not even maxed out yet.
Radiant's
He's pushing
bottom
that, though.
shrine
He's
is
getting there
under
pretty
attack.
quickly.
Scanning.
Dude, MSS is just waiting for Nature's Prophet to show up. He's just camping out and waiting for Chessie to teleport
Radiant's
in.
bottom shrine has fallen.
Here comes the smoke up, though. They will run into Tomato. Really need a nullifier on him, though, and the nullifier is in Nature's Prophet's hands. They're gonna go for Roche in the meantime. Looks like they'll have a pretty good surround here. Sneaking, Tomato, both gonna get hit, although the Walrus Punch does go towards Sneaking. We'll be able to force Staff out of here, and is gonna survive thanks to that pipe. Chessie does get the nullify off onto the Witch Doctor, but he's gonna get feared out of there thanks to the scream from Tomato. The Terrorize is gonna be lacking a little bit, but Tomato's gonna right-click Chessie down with the blink up to the high ground. He'll take the kill, and off in the back, everyone else is dying as well. Limp will TP up, but Moo's gonna be left behind. Poor guy has no BKB TP. Eul Scepter up into a Bramble Maze, into immediate doom. Oh, actually, no, Borrowed Time is still working, but now it won't. I mean, they focus that Witch Doctor to hell. They kill him off, man. They got him. Unfortunately, that's not the threat. It's Tomato's the threat. It's this Gyrocopter who's stacked up to high health who's the threat. Soon they're going to have a double life with even their Refresher Shard. Dude, look at that Bedlam. Just destroy Roche. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen here. We got a double Queen of Pain BKB Sonic Wave. Even going to go for that Maelstrom.
Gold remains.
This had that spell Lifesteal, of course, and that Fear actually doing some pretty nice. Whoa! I didn't mean upgrade your Yasha into a Divine Rapier. Like, for the record, that's not what I meant. But sometimes, man, sometimes you just gotta bust out the old Dr. Aegis combo. You know, way back when, like when you used to be able to build Aegis, this used to be a build. Like on Clinks, like you would just rush Divine Rapier Aegis, and Aegis would have 3 charges, and you would just like kind of race everyone around the map and just kill them all. That used to be the build for Clinks. I would never go for it, because I'm a gigantic coward. Plus, like, you know, I never really would like spam pick heroes ever. That's not how I roll. But yeah, he's got Aegis, he's got the Divine Rapier, and he really doesn't have much to worry about either. Uh-oh, Chessie. Are you prepared to be scared? Because it's going to get really terrifying up in here, because Dark Willow is going to whoop your ass. He's going to try to BKB and run. There's no true sight here. Come on, guys. The true sight's in the hands of the Night Stalker, so Chessie gets absolutely destroyed. Was that dust? Did I just see dust there? I don't know, but MSS is going to blink forward, get the lift up onto the Shadow Fiend. He's going to try to TP out. Looks like the Divine Rapier damage, not quite enough. Dude, Dark Willow. Dark frickin' Willow, man. There's a Bloodthorn on the Nature's Prophet. Like, he's so deadly. But he's the only one on compLexity who is at all a threat. VGJ.Storm have unkillable Quap with the spammable Fear from the Scream. And, well, I mean, you get a Divine Rapier on Gyrocopter, it's probably about time to win the game. Oh, MSS. Okay, he doesn't have any true sight. He almost jacked up Chessie one more time, though. Like, this Dark Willow is an absolute nightmare for this Nature's Prophet to deal with at this stage. If you get hit with the Terrorize, man, you're taking all that damage. Like, there's no 2 ways around it. Right, here we go. Looks like they're just going to have to deal with this top lane eventually. Chessie is pushing this bottom lane as well. Again, stall. I feel like at a certain point, though, like, you're gonna get killed by this Dark Willow. That's just gonna happen as Chessie. So you can't really, like, stall this forever. At a certain point, VGJ.Storm are gonna say, screw it, we have a Divine Rapier, let's go up the high ground. Ice Blast coming out. They're looking for the Dark Willow, but she's a tricky one.
Worthy
She's
tribute.
gonna jump out of there. She even has Yule Scepter and is that 2 Lotus Orbs? Yeah, it's 2 Lotus Orbs. You gotta get rid of that Nullify effect, the Bloodborne, whatever it's called. I keep on forgetting, Soul Rend. You also get rid of this Ethereal form. There it is, BKB used as well. And yeah, at a certain point, as promised, VGJ.Storm is gonna say, screw it, we're gonna go up high ground. Chessie is behind them. Can't go for the Dark Willow though, she's in the Shadow Realm. And the Night Stalker does have that gem. Oh no, Chessie, you're in the wrong neighborhood, dude, run! Okay, well, I mean, I like the attempt there. I like the idea of I'm just gonna just sit in the back and assassinate someone by myself. But now he's dead without buyback. And the Yawar still has this Divine Rapier, which I hear is a pretty good item. Bramble Maze is out, Moo and Limp. They're gonna try to like chip out this Gyrocopter, but not really doing all that much. As off to the side, Tomato looking to assassinate Z-Freak, he's got him. And even Moo in the middle of the fight with the Radiance, good freaking luck, dude, is gonna run out of borrowed time soon enough. The flat cannon from downtown with the Fear kills off the Abaddon. And Gyrocopter is gonna get Force Staffed out, still alive, still has that double life. Even if he dies this one time, who cares? Because Tomato's still at literal full HP. And he's just going to work. Curse Crown onto the Abaddon. Limp's being chased out by sneaking. They'll buzz the rest of them down. Sonic Wave again is up on Tomato because he had that shard. Terrorized, there's nowhere left to run. Oh, there's nowhere left to hide either. That's going to be a little bit of fountain farming to end this game, and that's going to be the game. VGJ.Storm, they absolutely dismantled compLexity. Now, to be fair, compLexity's draft was I'm not really sure what that is, but you know what? They tried this draft and it didn't really work. And at a certain point, they were just like reliant on split push, and that's about it. And VGJ.Storm were just bouncing all over the map with an unkillable Quap because there were just no stuns on compLexity, no disables at all. The game kind of played itself out for at a certain point, and at that point it was about here. Like, they didn't have to work hard for this win because they just had such an overwhelmingly powerful draft compared to compLexity. Here's hoping Moo gets a little bit of a better sequence of heroes in the next game because VGJ.Storm are looking incredibly powerful here. Guys, I'm Mike Loris. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 coming up soon.